Do you know what dinosaurs I really miss? These ones.
Not the mama, not the mama, not the mama, not the mama, not the mama.
And despite how emotional Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom gets, and it does, nothing in it compares even slightly to how that show ended. All these years later, and I still don't know how to process that. It was a kid's show, man. Like,
Put the bunny back in the box.
starring amongst others Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, Rafe Spall, Justice Smith, Daniela Pineda, and Jeff Goldblum. Yeah. Directed by J.A. Bayena, off of a script by Colin Trevorrow and Derek Connolly. This is my review for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. So the Jurassic World saga continues. This is now the second movie in the second trilogy, and I liked Jurassic World. I liked that film quite a bit. I didn't realise that it got such a mixed response at the time, because everybody I saw it with loved it equally, but it's only after time's gone by that I've realised many people just weren't a fan of that, and it's fair enough, but for me, I loved it. Going into this one though, I wasn't sure what to expect. The trailers didn't really do anything for me. It kind of painted out that this was going to be a different sort of movie to the one that we're used to, and while that's not necessarily a bad thing, it seemed like it was going in a way that I wasn't too fond of. And for me at least, those worries and those concerns were well founded. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and I'm not going to spoil anything that's not already been in the trailers, so as the trailers let us know, we have essentially 2 points to this movie. You have the first part that's set on the island. The island's under attack by a volcano. We need to get these dinosaurs off the island. They're all going to burn and die. And then it moves on to another location where we have some more dinosaur action. So I'm going to call those Plot A and Plot B. And Plot A for me is by far the stronger of the two. I wish, to be honest, that the whole movie had been set on the island and dealing with saving these dinosaurs. I wish that had been the entirety of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, because the stuff that we get there, while is a bit rushed, I don't think it splits it down the middle for Plot A and Plot B. I think we spend a lot more with B than we do A. But what we got on the island was great. I would love to have seen this story be one where the humans take responsibility for what they've created and generally go about trying to save as many of these things as possible, as many of these dinosaurs as they possibly can. The effect work here is great, and throughout the film it is as well, to be fair. There seems to be a mixture of sort of practical effects and CGI, so there's no point it feels overly CGI heavy. The dinosaurs, for the most part, they feel real. They feel like they're actually in the scene with the actors, and that's a very important thing, I think, for a Jurassic World movie. But that's far more evident in Plot A. It's far more evident on the island. And there's a real epic feel as well to them returning there. This volcano, when they get there, it's at the point where it's like, right, this thing's going to blow imminently. We need to get this done. And the stuff there works really, really well for me. It's good getting all these characters back, and we'll move on to the actual characters themselves in a minute, because they are a bit of a problem. But it's fun seeing them reunited, and it's fun seeing them on this common goal, which is just saving things. So yeah, for me at least, I'd have been very happy if we'd had the entire movie set on the island with that one mission. But that's not what we get. And for me, the movie loses a lot of steam, and it takes a pretty severe dip in quality as well when it moves away from there. You'd have seen in the trailers that there's an auction of sorts, where dinosaurs are being sold off at the highest bids to whoever wants to buy them, and it worried me in the trailers. It didn't look like a smart move. It didn't seem like a great way to take things, and it's not, and it's mainly down to the execution. In concept, the idea of people buying dinosaurs to use for nefarious means, like, it's a great idea. It's one that can really be built upon, but it's just handled really poorly here. There's points here where it feels like a B-movie Jurassic Park rather than a massive cinema release. The people doing the bids on the dinosaurs are just, they're so generic and so bland and almost sort of caricatures, really. Just the sort of person like the evil Russian over there who's just going to go 20 million. It's not a Russian accent at all. But it's that sort of thing, and it's, yeah, I couldn't take it seriously. And then you've got Toby Jones, who, if you don't know Toby Jones, he's a great actor. He's a very good actor. He rarely puts a foot wrong, but he's awful here. Absolutely terrible. If Toby Jones is terrible in your movie, then you're doing something wrong. But he's just another villain. He's just another bad guy character, and there's nothing more to him. And the main bad guy here as well, again, his goals are very just cookie cutter. It's very just, I want to do it for money, and that's it. That's all I'm interested in. And there's no nuance to them. There's no sort of depth to any of these bad guy characters at all. As for the good guy characters, I mean, Chris Pratt is always very likable. Like, even in a bad movie, and I'm not saying this is a bad movie, but even in a terrible movie, Chris Pratt would still be able to be the best thing in it. And he's, again, very likeable here. He's very enthusiastic. There's something just infectious about Chris Pratt, I find. Like, he's always watchable. And Bryce Dallas Howard as well. I liked her in Jurassic World, and I like her here as well. She does good work. But the problem is, there's nothing to these two. Their arc in Jurassic World was... and I've not seen it in a little while, but I think it was they meet again, they don't really get on, they have to deal with the fact they don't really get on, and then by the end of the movie they get together, and, that's it. This is pretty much exactly the same thing. Like, the movie starts, and again, it's in the trailer, but it starts with the fact that these two have broken up. They meet after all that time, they're not really getting on, but they're forced to work together again and learn how to become close again. It's exactly the same thing as Jurassic World. They've just recycled that plot for the two leads. It's really lazy. Is that honestly the best that you could do for them? They're two talented actors here, and they're two good characters as well. Why just saddle them with a repeat of something that happened just in the very last movie that they did together? They get a couple of other characters along for the ride with them as well. There's Eli and Franklin, I think their names were, but they are the two tech people from Jurassic World before who are coming along to help with this, and they're fine. Like, they do what they need to do. They're serviceable. There's nothing special about them, and that really sums up most of the characters in this. There's nothing special about any of them. There's also a child character in this film as well, a character of Maisie, played by Isabella Sermon. Yeah, played by Isabella Sermon. Won't go too much into her, but she's an interesting character, I will say, and the child actor actually does a good job. So she's not an annoying child actress, so it's got that going for it. Something I was worried about that actually worked quite well, I think, was the change in tone. So when we go from plot A to plot B, the movie takes a turn in more ways than one, and it becomes, as the trailer suggested, a bit of a gothic horror. And I didn't know what I'd think about that, but for the most part, I think it was a smart idea. So the Jurassic Park franchise now is 5 movies in. It needed to change things up. It needed to try something different. I don't think it was 100% successful, but I do like the fact that they at least gave it a go, and there is some genuinely creepy moments. Like, it does build on tension a little bit. It doesn't... I wouldn't say it goes full-on horror, but it does lean in towards that a little bit more than it does action, and for the most part, yeah, I think that works. I'm not going to do a spoiler section for this one, but I will say there is a twist in this movie, and you will know it when you see it, that I hated with a passion. I don't know why they did it. I think it was ridiculous, and I literally, as it happened, just went... why are we doing this? But yeah, if you've seen the movie, you'll know the bit I'm talking about. Maybe you liked it. I didn't. To end on a positive, though, the stuff that happens on the island, there's a moment, and you will 100% know that moment when you see it, that really got me on an emotional level, far more than I was expecting to. I thought this was going to be a dumb, stupid movie, and it is, largely. But there's just this one moment where they show something, and I thought they cut away, and they didn't, and they really just let the camera focus in on what's happening, and it's such a horrible moment, but it's horrible in a good way. I kind of mean that in a nice way. But yeah, it really allows that scene to just tug at the heartstrings, and it was a tough watch. But in the end, with Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, it's a movie that I enjoyed for the most part, but I've got many problems with it. It's not one that I'm going to be instantly eager to see again. I am interested to see what they do with the next one, which I think is confirmed for 2021. I think that's due out. So I'm interested to see where they go based on how this one ends. But yeah, just taken as its own movie, it's mixed. I'm going to give Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom a 7 out of 10. Have you seen Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom? If so, let me know what you thought in the comments. What's your favourite Jurassic Park movie? Rank them. List them. Rank all 5. I'll have a Movies at 20 review for The Truman Show up early next week, I think. Great movie. Love that film. You can follow me on Twitter at JoePJulians. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next video.
And taking a look at the long-range forecast, continued snow, darkness, and extreme cold. This is Howard Handupme. Good night. Goodbye.